visiting one another in the offices. But we're going digital even in chat. So I take this opportunity to thank you all for making it. Thank you for making the time. This is very important. We must now, begin to think together on how we can access, the ecosystem. We know there's a food crisis across the world. Who knew that we are that interconnected globally and even locally? So I think this is a very important session that we are about to begin. And I'm going to just request, because of time, we're not going to do introductions, but I think it would be very nice at some point if we could just get to know how every business is doing. It will be very important to know who's doing what, so that other businesses can get to learn from the other businesses. I think this is definitely a good sort of a conversation to keep going every other week, so that we can update each other on the strategies that businesses are, engaging to ensure that they thrive, they stay, afloat. So we must keep hope alive. So yes, so I will request Mr. Nakisho to please introduce himself to our very wonderful team. I think some of us know one another in this platform, but as we continue to do this, I think we'll get to know each other better and what we do. It's important that we go into strategic alliances, even at this point of time. So welcome, Mr. Nakisho. Please go ahead and introduce yourself. And yeah, as we also wait for Maggie so that we can introduce her.
All right, welcome everyone. My name is Narkisho from Kavenak Digital Solutions, owner of Kavenak Digital Solutions, where we help businesses to grow online. We help coaches, consultants, and other businesses to grow online and get a continuous flow of clients to their businesses. And I'm glad to be here. I was welcomed by Eunice, and I really appreciate to be part of this team. And I know probably from the engagements that we'll have this evening, probably we'll learn from each other and come up with something out of this particular meeting. Thank you very much for the welcome. We welcome everyone, and we hope this will be beneficial for all of us. Seems like Eunice is a little away. Okay, we are waiting for another contributor, panelist who's supposed to be here. Probably Eunice, you could update us on the other presenter.
Sorry, I think another meeting she was in was running late. So what we'll do, we'll just start with you. I think for the sake of time, yeah, let's begin.
Oh, we should. All right.
Sorry, guys, allow me to update you. Mr. Nakisho is. Allow me to read his profile, though, because of time. I think we're going to post it on the chat. You can go through it. But more importantly is that he's very crucial to helping businesses go online. And like we've rightfully said, for those who have just joined us, it's very important for us to be able to access our customers, access, our farmers, our suppliers, and just to keep the conversation going even during this COVID-19 situation. So thank you very much. Mr. Nakisho, please go ahead.
All right, thank you, Eunice. Initially, I intended to do a 5-minute presentation from our conversation, but it's fine. We can always get something to talk about for the 15 minutes that I've been notified of. First of all, these are challenging times for all of us, I know. And we do not get to have the physical meetings that we are used to. And probably we just have to go online the way we have. So I don't know the level of expertise. Could somebody type what they're doing on the chats? You can chat on what you're doing so that I get to know the audience that I'm talking to. That would help us among the participants. So just type what you do kindly so that I may be able at the end of it to come with custom solutions to probably the majority of us here. First of all, these are challenging times, as we might believe, we know, all of us, and it does not really matter what you do. the market is affected and how we operate has really been affected worldwide. As digital marketers now, of course, we are seeing changes that we want to share some of those with you and maybe advise, especially those in agribusiness like most of us. So I see farmer, that's from Eunice to everyone. Eunice is a farmer. I would like to get your feedback. So let me get feedback on what you do. You can type on the messages. I believe you're able to type. Yes, farmer, exporter, trader, coach, agribusiness, and Select Fresh Produce Kenya Limited. I believe Eunice is known to most of us, I believe. Yeah, let's keep typing on what we do, and probably that might lead me to have a custom presentation based on what you guys do. So actually, like I said, at Kavanagh Digital Solutions, we actually help businesses to grow online. And that means having an online presence. I see Mel says entrepreneur and online health store. Oh, that's interesting. Pink Salt, so that's great. So there are some of us already online already. And let's keep typing. Let's not be afraid of typing. Let's type something that mushroom farmer, that's Isaac Kamau, and Stella is food safety expert, trainer and consultant in food safety. Oh, great. Okay. Hi, Stella. So we have gotten 3 people, and I'm getting a feel of the guys that we have here. Yeah, so thank you very much. Those who have not at least said what they do, please continue. So how are you supposed to be operating in these challenging times? Of course, I know there are many things that are happening now. People are in panicking mode. We don't know what to do. And let me give you some 4 tips to begin with on what we need to do at this particular time. It's time now that we need to start speaking. Okay, let me admit some guys here. Jane Maigwa Aswani G. Beth says that she's trading in fruits and vegetables. Beth, are you online already, or you're just offline? 1+7, that's the name that's here, commodity trading. Welcome, and that's good to do. So number 1, sometimes at times like this, many times we want to reduce our price and believe that we want to provide more value. Some market by reducing the prices during calamities so that they're able to sell. Imagine if you have your clients in your stores and now the stores, they're not able to come to your store. They're not able to come to your shop. What next would you do? It's a challenging time for many businesses. And sometimes we confuse the price and the value. We want to believe that since I have less customers, I want to maybe now reduce my price and to get more customers. And sometimes we are desperate for customers until we reduce our prices to the extent, for example, that maybe our production costs become even more than our prices. Remember, if we reduce our prices now, our customers would want those prices to stay until the end of this pandemic. So it might be our time to wait still. Let us not be desperate to start reducing our prices during these times. I realize there are many of our clients who have wanted to do that. I've tried to market, I've tried to do this and that. People are not coming to my shop now. I'm desperate. Let us not get desperate. Let us be quiet and wait still. Let's not start changing our prices unless maybe it's philanthropy or something like that. Let's avoid excessive deal marketing at this particular time. We might want to make deals faster. It's not good to start making deals early. Let us wait until maybe 6 weeks from the pandemic when it began and such. So those who are still willing, already operating, my suggestion would be like we continue to maintain our quality of products and increase our product, or we maintain the quality or increase their product quality. Let us maintain our quality or increase the products, but let us not mess up with the price now, because when you do that, probably they would want to do that even at the end of the pandemic, and probably it's us who will be going at a loss. Let's use this particular time to love and nurture our customers. The customers that we already have, instead of trying to look for many more customers now, it's better to maintain our loyal clients and and nurture them so that they will be with us even after this pandemic. So let us do those four things. Let us not rush to reduce our prices because of desperation at these times. Let us avoid dealing just for the sake of the crisis, something that is not worthwhile for us. Our clients will take us like that even in the future. Let us continue to maintain the quality of our products and services, whether offline or online, for those who are still able to operate offline. And let us love the customers and let us nurture them. I know there are some of us, probably I see Brighton is a consultant, trader, processor, especially RTBs, agro-foods. Christine Nyambua, lead farmer recruiter at Select Fresh Produce Limited, facilitator and coach at Africa Sustainable Agribusiness. Yeah, so I would like to touch about those, for example, would like to, we've been getting a lot of these questions lately from many businesses, especially those who just want to go online from the beginning. They do not know what to do. Probably their businesses are not operating. How do I go online? How do I start to go online with my products and services? And do I need to even diversify my product lines? Probably there are others whom the physical deliverability of their goods is not possible now. You have your processed foods, but you cannot export them. There are no exports, there are no imports easily, and probably you have to stay with your high quality products. What am I supposed to do to get clients online within the vicinity, that maybe within Kenya, within Nairobi, whichever place that you are in? So what do I need to do what do I need to do to get online? The first thing, I would give you 6 steps that you need to get online right now. If you're not online, probably those who are already online, you can see what to improve on in terms of your services. Eunice, I'm now extending this to be beyond 5 minutes, like we had agreed. So I hope when the other presenter comes in, you let me know. So I would like
He's actually here, but don't worry, we need those 6 steps.
Okay, yeah, all right. So you need to do these 6 steps. First of all, the first step is to find your strength. Whatever you want to take online, that you want to trade in online, maybe you want to build your website, you want to build your business, make sure that whatever you're presenting to the world, whether it's information about what you do, especially now that you cannot do exports, probably you might want to train people on how to start the agribusiness side of it. If you're a lead farmer like Christine, lead farmer recruiter or Select Fresh Produce Limited, facilitator and coach, maybe you're already doing coaching online. I don't know. Christine, are you already doing coaching online or it's offline? You can let me know in the chat. So for those who want to do coaching, for example, you find your strength first. So this applies to everybody. Whatever product that you want, product or service that you want to take online, it means you have to be unique. You have to be different from the other products. That means you're not like any other person. So that when people come to your website or your funnel, a funnel is just a form of guiding your website visitor through the different steps. So, but I will explain later if we don't understand what a funnel is. More or less of a website, but more channeled towards having you direct your website visitors. So you need to look at the strength that you have, whether you want to coach, whether you want to sell a product or a service. Look at your major strength, and that is one you expose to the world. That's number one. Look at your strength, and that is what you need to package to take online. Number two is you need to define your audience. When you're marketing online, for example, you need to know that when I want to lead visitors to my website, what kind of visitors do I need? What kind of visitors do I need to go to my website? If I have an online program, if I am a coach, or a consultant, or maybe an exporter, or maybe whatever product or service that you're offering, the number two thing before you get online, you need to define your audience. Maybe your audience are a kind of company. Maybe your audience is within this age range. Maybe your audience are single moms. Maybe your audience are men aged between 29 and 39, or maybe widowers or widows. So you need to define your audience. We call it customer avatar. So you need to really define whom you want to serve before you even go online. Number three, when you've known your strength, what you produce that is much beyond the rest of the world, and you've defined your audience that you want to serve, then you need to create content. I remember we were talking with Eunice, and she says she's afraid of presenting online and doing online presentations. We might need to create content in terms of videos, in terms of YouTube Live, in terms of maybe you can write content in terms of blog articles. So you need to produce content that is relevant to your product that you're serving, and you can get people to follow you based on the content that you're following. I know most of our clients, because of what we offer for free online, they come to follow us and maybe probably become our client. So that is number three. You need to create content in your relevant area. If you just keep quiet, for example, you have your company right now and you don't get it online and you don't produce content online, you might be lost after these 6 months. To recapture your new clients, how will you ever nurture your current clients? You need to nurture your current clients by creating content online continuously through the free channels and even the paid channels. So that is number three. Number four is you need to have a website. Yeah, so maybe you're in the agribusiness, let's say, you are trading in fruits and vegetables, commodity trading, food safety expert and trainer and consultant. These products and services that you have, if you do not have a website, how will people be able to reach you? You can be able to have Facebook groups, Facebook pages, and free channels. But again, those people want to look you up on your company website, and you need to really serve them and to bring your products live in your website. So you need a website or a funnel. I will explain that later if somebody needs a deeper explanation. The number five thing, I've had people who have had beautiful websites. I was talking to a business owner today in the travel industry. She has had very beautiful website, and that website has been there for the last like 3 years. When I asked her, how many clients have you gotten from your website? Then she says none. It's possible to have a website there, but have no clients at all. So you need to drive traffic to your website. There are so many ways you can drive traffic to your website, including Facebook ads, including Google ads, including producing content that is relevant to your particular market that will lead them to your website. But you need to have a website, at least an online presence of something that you own. So the number five that I've hinted on is about traffic. So you need to drive traffic to your website, but that is not the only thing. After driving traffic to your website, convert the traffic of people who visit your website, convert them to subscribers. Very important. Remember, when you're in Facebook and you have a Facebook page for your business or a Facebook group for your business, or maybe in your profile, your Facebook account can be locked anytime. Zuckerberg can decide to lock your account and you don't have that totally, and you miss out on all what you've built in that platform. And YouTube as well can delete your account. Google as well can delete your ad account and everything. But the moment that is deleted, if you didn't have a backup plan of maybe having traffic to your website, and then those people subscribe to your email list so that you can even be communicating to them at this time, at such times, then you are going to lose out on a lot. So you need to have subscribers. When you've been online for some time, you must have heard of this thing like money is in the list. So you build a list of your potential clients and you communicate to them as always, as much as you can, giving content, giving value, and maybe also offering your product sales. Number six is learn how to sell. Many people fear to sell online, and sometimes you might be having a good product or service, but you're afraid of selling it. One of my guides, Dean Graziosi, is a very world-renowned marketer. What he says is that if you fear to market your product or service, it means you are doing a disservice to the world. Those people are supposed to be getting to accept your products or services. If they cannot get your products or services, it means you are doing them a disservice. Your products or services are very good. Your products or services are unique, and you need to market them to the world. You don't need to be afraid of the marketing beat. So you need to market to the world and learn how to sell. One thing that I would like to say, during this particular pandemic, you can improve on these aspects of your business, and you'll be able to do all this, especially during this quiet time. When this period ends, then it finds you much, much ahead. The internet is not stopping. It is still there, and it will continue to be there. And it means if you fail to build your online presence now, when the businesses gets back on track and you focus on other things like production and running your business, you can use this time to learn, and you can use this time to improve your online presence. So let me recap the last ones. Then if there is any question, please ask in the comments. I will get back to them. So you need to find your strength. You need to find your product and service, number one. Number two, you need to define your audience, those you are serving. You need to be very specific with this. In our digital marketing, when to most of our clients, what we do, we help them to come with their customer avatar, so that when we run their campaigns, we know that we are serving this type of people. So that's very important. You cannot serve everybody everywhere, but you know your sweet spot. Even if you have a mass appeal commodity, there's a sweet spot, the type of clients that you'd like to deal with. So you need to define your audience. Number three, you need to create content. Number four, you need to have a website or funnel. And number five, you need to drive traffic and get subscribers. And number six, you need to learn to sell both online and offline. I believe my time could be done. Probably you could give.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Nakisho. I mean, those are wonderful steps for us getting on board online and making sure that we don't disconnect with our clients. We really appreciate. I think now we can keep our questions for later, and then we can just invite our next speaker, Madame Margaret. Yes, please feel free to introduce yourself and go on. I think because of time, but we'll post, like we said, we are posting the details of our presenters on the chat. Thank you.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Eunice, for the amazing work that you're doing by helping agripreneurs grow their businesses even in the midst of the current pandemic. My name is Margaret Mudeu. I run the East Africa chapter of a global entrepreneurship community that is called 1 Million Startups, where we work with entrepreneurs that are tackling the day-to-day challenges we face in our communities. And we do this through several initiatives that we run. One of them being an investor readiness program, the other one being a hub for women only called Women Biz 360, which we launched mid last year. Yeah, so basically, the greatest satisfaction that I have is seeing entrepreneurs growing in their businesses, making impact not only locally, but also globally. I think you had my bio. My background is in tech, entrepreneur as well for several years. So getting back to our topic of the day is, how do you as an entrepreneur, given the current pandemic that you're facing, pivot your business from what you were doing to adapting to the new normal that we are all facing as entrepreneurs? And the best thing about an entrepreneur is that you're a solution provider. When faced with challenges, is finding what is the other solution that I can come to be able to navigate and stay afloat, especially in business. And some of the questions to ask yourself as an entrepreneur is, what are some of the key changes that have taken place in the past weeks? We've been on a lockdown for what now? So looking back at your current business model, what would you say have been the key changes that have happened to your business? Is it that you've had to close your premise, or if you're doing agroprocessing, stop your production? Yeah, what is it that has happened? List it down, because this is what will help you in knowing how do you pivot your business in this pandemic. The other thing is, what do you see happening right now? If you look around you, what are the current patterns you see? Because that is what will help you identify some of the new opportunities that you can leverage on to be able to take advantage. For example, right now, perhaps there's an increased demand locally for food produce locally, because I mean, like in the past month, some of the that I have dealt with in the past month that are in agribusiness were telling me that they witnessed an increased demand, especially in the local market for fresh produce. Yeah. So what are some of the opportunities? What are some of the things that you can see happening around you? Yeah. And what are other plausible future developments in customer behavior or competition that you've seen taking? So as an entrepreneur, you cannot sit back and relax and hope that everything will be back to normal, but look around you and see what areas can you innovate around. The first speaker was mentioning about how you can change now, selling perhaps using the traditional channels that you were using before to now changing your business model to be online. So how can you innovate around how you do your sales, how you engage your customer throughout their customer journey, even if it's online? How do you deliver now to your customers, yeah? Now that they cannot walk into your premise perhaps. And what other partnerships can you develop during this time to help you stay afloat? And also, again, what activities do you engage in? So I had prepared a small presentation, but I think because of time, I may not be able to share this, but I'll just go through it quickly in the interest of time. So what I would recommend for entrepreneurs is, ensuring that you engage on a phased approach, because there's of uncertainty. We do not know how long this lockdown or the current place to ensure that your business remains resilient. So I had prepared like a 5-phase approach, but I'll only mention the first one, which is defining your current business model. So the first key thing is looking at your customers, the customers that you were serving before. Have they changed? Are they the same customers? For example, if you're involved in exports, now you may be forced to look at the local market. So how has that changed? Who are your current customers now? Yeah. And especially with the slow demand, to ensure that you're still moving produce while keeping in mind what your core business is. And after you identify who your current customers are, the next thing is finding out where are they and how can you reach them. Yeah. The next thing is the value proposition. Yeah. What will make this current customer that you have identified buy from you? Yeah. What do you have on offer to fulfill their current need or their immediate need that they have right now? So the third thing is your capabilities. What capabilities do you have? What capacity do you have? Because we've seen some businesses changing now because they still have production capacity, especially those that are doing manufacturing, to doing the PPEs now, yeah, for the local market, given the demand. Yeah, so what capacity do you have? Are you still able to do processing? I have to keep reminding myself, this is agripreneurs that I'm speaking to, yeah? Yeah, so what capabilities do you have within yourself? Yeah, and what ecosystem partners do you need to deliver the value proposition that you want to give to your current customers? Perhaps you may now need to partner with delivery companies so that they can do door-to-door deliveries for your produce around the different estates. Yeah, these are some of the partnerships you can develop with estate managers. Yeah, with some of the businesses that you know that are still open, like those that are in the essential services, to be able to also create demand, yeah, and fulfill the demand for those that are still open. Yeah, what other new channels can you focus on? And especially online, to be able to continue your transactions there. Yeah, what channels do you need now? Will the payment mode change from what was there, because right now we are being encouraged to use mobile money payments instead of cash. So do you have that in place already, like an M-Pesa, a pay bill number, yeah, for your business where people can still pay you through that? Yeah, how will that also affect your business operations, like your accounting and what you're currently doing? And lastly is the financial model. What new model will you use for your core customers that you're serving right now? Yeah.
Wonderful.
And how will the core, sorry, yes. Do I still have time?
You have 1 minute.
Okay, all right. Perhaps I can respond to a pressing question then. I'll share the full presentation with the team, no problem.
Okay, no, but I think, Margaret, it's important for you to conclude. Just go ahead. I think, guys, if we can agree, we can resend this link. If it goes off, please allow discussion. It's day one, so be in session, but please feel free.
Okay. Anyone with a question so far? A question so that I can know how to proceed. You can type it on the chat. Hi guys, are you following?
Waiting for questions.
Any question? Yes.
Any question?
I think probably I need to extend the.
Yes.
Yes. Are you able to extend the time?
Let me